Hey, yo, good evening, squad. Good evening, crew. Welcome to the Ghost and Clover Podcast, powered by our good friends, of course, at European American Armory. And we'll talk more about them later on in the show. For now, though, keep in mind that you can find this in replay, or maybe you're already listening in replay, actually. And by the way, if you are, comment section down below, also ratings and whatnot down below. But Ghost is proud member of Self Defense Radio Network, and Ghost and myself, of course, over at the Firearms Radio Network. So replays can be found there, along with the YouTube side of things, the Ghost and Clover channel. Uh, we've got matter of record September. What is it? 22nd, 2024. So moving into the last quarter of the year. What is this? Episode 16? It is episode 16. So a few more episodes left before we end this year and start a hopefully a whole new season. So thanks for joining us. Keep in mind also as we're moving forward here that anybody out there in the live chat may actually have the opportunity to pick our third and final topic of the night. And just like that third and final topic that we don't know, that's exactly the way that this show works. If you're new here, which heck, I act like I'm new here apparently, but um, Ghost and I, neither one know what the topics are going to be coming into this, and so that is all part of the fun and games. With that, let's get Ghost in the house, man. What's up, bro?
What's going on? How are you?
I'm okay.
That's
Okay,
good. That's
okay.
good.
I want to have some
Still
fun.
alive. That's a positive thing. It's always good when you're alive,
Man, I'm telling you, almost was not a couple days ago, but
right?
Friday, yeah. But it's been pretty good. I've had some couple of good days since, so I maybe that scare shocked my system or something. I don't know. It's weird.
I don't know. Something about getting healthy and trying to do right almost killing you. Maybe there's something to that. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy, man. You get in the gym, you get your diet squared away, you get all these things lined out, and then, for 3 weeks, literally worried about dying. It's horrible. But what do you do, man? It's like happy fat is a real thing. Like,
I mean, there's a reason why fat and happy is fat and happy, right?
yeah, we want to complain, and that's not a topic. Well, it could be a topic. I don't know what your topic is, but so say that's not the topic for tonight. But people always complain about, oh, you're no big fat, fat ass, and they got to get healthy, and they got to all this other stuff, and it's like, you know what? Sometimes ignorance is bliss, and so is fatness,
Hmm.
apparently.
That's
So it's
right.
like maybe just leave people alone. I mean, if you're fat to the point it's debilitating, I get it, I guess, right?
And
But
if it's truly unhealthy, yeah.
yeah, well, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I'm
Or
talking like the obese, like you can't stand up and you're stuck in it. Like the people you see on TV, like the 600, 800
oh,
pounds.
like they got to cut a wall out of their house and
That's what I'm
no,
saying. Like
but
that's different. As we're not talking that.
like they got to take them to the
Being
hospital.
fluffy is not a bad thing.
Right, Fluffy. God, that Gabriel Iglesias is hilarious. I love Fluffy. Speaking of Fluffy, we got Fluffy 10 millimeter out there too. So
Yeah, Fluffy's
a
out
lot
there.
of a lot of Fluffy chat tonight. So, well, you're coming up on uh, some break time. I've noticed that you've been throwing some videos out, so that's good.
Yeah, I've had a couple videos put out the last couple of weeks, and going to the range. I'm actually a guy had come up to me and wanted to know if I could take him to the range, and he wants to start shooting guns again. He's got some guns, wants to take them out there and see
Oh
what
yeah,
else is out there. And so, of course, we're gonna go tomorrow afternoon. And of
heck yeah,
course, I'll bring some fun stuff for him to shoot, but he's going to bring his stuff and just wants to go to the range. And I said, "Oh, absolutely." So I don't know. I might take a video camera out tomorrow just to see. But no, I've been out to the range a few times now, and obviously got a lot more stuff I need to get done. But it's nice to be able to have a little bit of time in my life to go out and shoot and all that. So yeah, looking forward to the slowdown, if you will.
yeah, man. If he's willing to, like turn on a camera or whatever, that could be interesting.
Yeah, I'm going to take my stuff, obviously, and see if he's willing to do that. But
Yeah, that'd be neat.
I don't suspect he will.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's what
Well,
it is, though.
and I get it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So, yeah, you got first topic, man.
I do have first topic. And real quick, before Clover was talking about if you are listening to this in podcast or watching this in replay, we do invite you every other Sunday to come join us live and be part of the quote unquote live studio audience, if you will. A lot of good people out here, especially if you're kind of getting into guns or getting into the gun community and want to meet more like minded people. There's some great people that always show up to our chat. So, great way to meet some people and then also maybe get to pick our last topic. But for our first topic tonight, and I'll tell you why here in a minute, why I came up with this, but kind of talking about like self improvement, but not in the way that you think, right?
Mhm.
If there was, okay, how to put this, if you could learn a new skill or learn something, a new ability, or is there something out there that you wish that you knew how to do or to do better and all that, whatever that might be, a skill, a trade, an ability, is there something out there? What's that one thing, if you could sit there and say, I wish I could do this, or I wish I could do this better, what would that be?
Man, holy crap!
Yeah.
Like,
I'm actually going to make you think a little bit. Like, I can start out. I'll give you time here. So my wife has been watching on YouTube for a while, and she hasn't watched in a while. But in the last week or so, she's kind of found this channel again, and it's this Japanese lady, a young girl. I would say young girl, early probably 20s, early 30s, somewhere in there, and the whole thing is she's got like a crazy amount of subscribers and followers. She doesn't speak in it. She doesn't show her face. It's she like wears a COVID mask type thing. Been doing this long before COVID, but she builds stuff at her house. She's learned and taught herself carpentry. She builds cabinets. She puts down wood flooring. She builds extra rooms, or she builds chicken coops or whatever it is. And like these videos can go on for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. And it's just like music in the background. There's no talking. There's no nothing. She kind of puts words on there. But I find myself watching this because I would like the ability to, like, I don't know, carpentry necessarily, but being creative enough to build things from scratch, right? And having the ability to put things together with just an idea. Say, I want to do this, and have the ability to build stuff. I'm not that guy to just go outside and say, I've got all this scrap wood out here. Like you do this quite a bit with range and different things.
Yeah.
I don't have that ability. I don't know if it's because I'm not creative enough or just don't have the mindset to build stuff, but I would like to be able to build stuff, better.
So, I wonder, and I'm not trying to obfuscate here for sure, but
Yeah, sure.
I wonder if we could get you into tools, like into
Yeah.
big time,
Yeah.
if that would kind of bleed over into maybe you doing more things and getting better at doing all of them.
Probably. Yeah. And that would, getting into tools would also help with maybe learning a skill of mechanicking and wrenching on cars. All that kind of stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that would be something. But yeah, I don't dislike tools. I don't dislike that stuff. I just don't know, like,
Yeah.
I'm not creative enough. You know that. I when it comes to that kind of stuff, I'm not creative, and I think it'd be kind of fun to be more creative that way.
Yeah. Can I? And I don't think. I think that's. It's very possible that a lot of that is just kind of product of environment type thing. Maybe.
Yeah.
If I can ask a personal question and tell me to fuck off if that's the case, but. The way I understand it anyway, your dad was like more of a corporate type.
Oh, very much. Yeah.
Was not
was yeah, he was white collar. Was not an outdoorsy guy. Nothing wrong with that. Just so I didn't grow up turning wrenches in cars. I didn't grow up building stuff. It
Right.
sounds one of
Yeah.
those is that if we
Yeah.
wanted something, we bought it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't grow up with the idea of building things and all of that.
Mhm.
So, but
Yeah.
watching this channel, it's interesting to see have an idea, right? I
Right.
want to do this, and then
How do I do it?
go do it.
It's funny. I'm oftentimes just damn near every time the little hardware store. I've got a favorite hardware store just because of like their fastener section with the nuts and
Yeah,
bolts, and then they've got so many different things that can be used to fashion so many different projects and stuff that
yeah,
it's amazing. Like anytime I walk in there and there's like a new employee or something like that, kid working for the summer, and they offer to help me, and one of the regulars see that, they're like, no, you're not gonna be able to help him. Like
yeah, yeah,
he don't even know what he's trying to do. And
yeah,
and that's just from years of going in there, and they're like, can I help you? And I'm like, I doubt it. And they're like, well, what are you trying to do? And I'm like, I'm trying to do X, Y, and Z. And
yeah,
they're like, what? Like, and I'm like, I know in my head what I want to do. I can't explain to you like I don't know how to get there yet. I need to walk around the hardware store and look at all
yeah.
these parts and pieces and doodads, you know, and I'll figure out what I've got to screw together, weld together, glue together to make it work.
Yeah. Well, and that's part of it for me, right?
Yeah.
Is I could walk around, I could have an idea. I want to do this. I want to build this. And it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's metal or wood,
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
I could walk around a hardware store, every aisle, look at everything, get an idea of what's available. And I could probably figure it out,
Mhm.
but I still would like to have the skill
Well,
or the knowledge of how
yeah.
things work
Well, then,
together. And that's why I'm not good with cars as far as mechanicking, is I don't understand how the
how it works.
carburetor works with this,
Yeah.
and you know what I'm saying, like it looks like a bird's nest to me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Right. Well, it can be a curse too, though.
Yeah,
Let me, as I said something to you the other night. It's like this epiphany I had, which was crazy. But I've been out on the range, and I've done all kinds of
yeah,
things out there with coverings from awnings to just all kinds
yeah.
of things. And I was thinking, how can I build like a cupboard thing? And do I
Right.
do it with 4x4s and then like some of the translucent tin, or like what am I going to do? And all of a sudden I had this epiphany. It's like, you dumb
You
bastard, just buy
dumbass.
buy a metal carport off Amazon for $600 and put it up and you're done. Like,
Yeah,
why would you spend thousands of dollars in lumber and stuff? Like, this
yeah.
makes no sense. Like, screw a metal thing together that comes in the mail and you're done. So sometimes doing it yourself and building stuff yourself can definitely be a curse. Like, you can spend
Well,
more
I
time
get
and
that. I
money.
mean, because I do have friends that are very handy, and they like to build things, and that's kind of
Yeah.
their hobby, right?
Yeah.
And you're right. Like next thing you know, you walk out, you go to their house, and they've got 17 birdhouses, or they've
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
all this stuff. You're like, why? You're like, I don't know. I just start doing it, and then this is what happens when you start building stuff. Is
Yep.
you buy all this lumber, you buy all this, and you don't want to go to waste, so you start building
Yep.
dressers, and you start everything. I was like, I get it.
Uh-huh. Yep. Yeah, or
Yeah,
you again, you get into the tools and you just want a reason to play with tools, right?
yeah, yeah,
I mean that happens too. That's why a lot of people they buy their first gun,
yeah.
and they get into which is something I've done over the last few days. Then they get into like accessories and adding parts,
Oh
and
yeah.
before you know it, you've got some god awful monstrosity of a gun.
Hmm.
Now you think it's beautiful, don't get me wrong, but let's be real, it's a god awful monstrosity.
Yep.
That you spend all this time fitting these parts or putting them on there and doing this and doing that, right? So it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't, I still all this time, and I can't really come up with anything,
That's because
but
you're
I'm
perfect, right?
but I'm wait well, I just know I'm like a I know a whole I know very little about a whole lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so like it's
Well, as I
like,
was saying,
man,
is
I
there
don't
one
know if
of
I
those
take.
that you wish you knew more of? You know?
Well, on that, yeah. I will say since we're on kind of the construction hobby, and that's welding, it's really
Yeah.
odd.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's really odd. I can solder like it's nobody's business. 20 years in IT or whatever and stuff. Like I have no problem. I got all the tools. I can do it. You need something soldered, I'm your man. Um, Welding, if you need it to hold up, especially if it's like a life or death welding situation, like you're welding a bridge or
Yeah.
something, like you don't want me welding. Now,
Right.
if you're welding something to like ornamental to go in the yard or some shit, like I'm your dude, I can do that. That's not a problem.
Yeah.
But if you need it to hold, like life or death needed to hold, you better go get somebody else because
Right.
nope. So, I'm not, I've always wanted to chalk that up to, and this is kind of going to get into what I was going to say. I kind of always chalk that up to I've never had a good welder of any kind, and I really don't have a great working knowledge of the different types of welders and like how to
Mm,
adjust things and stuff like that, like I
sure.
do with soldering, right? I don't. It's
Sure.
not. It's a similar concept, but it's not the same.
Right.
And so I probably just need to deep dive, and educate myself enough that I can retain that information. But the other component to all of that, that I think is more important and was the initial thing, I wasn't going to say anything specific. I was going to come up that with, I have a problem, and my wife will attest to this with some of the artsy craftsy shit she does that is like minute detail and all that. I
Yeah.
am not patient. And so I cannot do like minute detail like I with
Mm,
like
mm,
tedious things, I lose my patience really quick with it. Um, and that's why I don't like editing. You know how much I hate editing videos.
right. Yeah.
And that's part of it. It's just the patience and the tediousness of it. I cannot stand that type of thing. So um, maybe I wish for a little more patience
Yeah. No, I get it.
is my wish there.
You know, I'm not patient at all, but I'm OCD about a lot of things in
Yeah,
my
I'm
life,
not.
and
Yeah, I'm
you
not.
know this about me.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can get really OCD about things.
right.
And let's say like editing. For some reason, I get OCD, and I kind of enjoy the editing process. I'm not any good at it, but I enjoy the process. Once again, I'm not creative, so but that's a way to kind of be creative, right? That's why I love like Photoshop. I can sit. I can't draw a stick figure. Like I really can't. I'm not artistic at all.
Mhm.
I'm not creative that way. But I can get into Photoshop and sit there for an hour and a half, OCD in it, patient as hell, coming up with something, whether a thumbnail or a logo or whatever we're talking about, whatever it is. For
Yeah,
some reason, stuff like that, maybe that's because I can be creative in a sense without having to be like drawing things, right?
yeah,
I don't know,
right.
but I can be. I'm not a patient guy either. But there are some things. I don't know if it's OCD or patience. When I say I can be patient about some things, I don't think it's patience. I think I can just be OCD about things, and that kind of forces me to hyper focus, if you will. I don't know.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm real ADD with things anyway. So that's why I
Yeah.
say I think it's more of a patience because
Yeah.
even if things are going well, the slightest little thing will throw me off track and I'm on to something else. Now
Sure.
I
Yeah.
will, God willing, I come back around and finish up whatever it was, I was doing. But
Right.
I'm absolutely all over the place, and this just from hanging
Hmm.
around me, and anybody out there that's hung around me for any length of time at shows or anything else, you know my ADD, you get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so, and I'm not saying diagnosed. I'm not using that as a damn crutch or nothing. It's a more of a self-deprecating humor type thing.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. No,
Could be true, but I don't
it's
know that it
possible. You know. Yeah. I think a
right.
lot of the times. I think a lot of times, patience is one of those things for me, and I'm not going to speak for anybody else, especially not for you, but for me, um, I find myself to be more patient about some things, and maybe it's because some things, maybe like, I don't know, like I'm excited about them or they're important to me. I can find patience in my life, but not very often. I find myself being impatient 98% of the time, but for some reason, when it comes down to certain things that I do or certain things, um, I can find the patience. I wish I could find it more often,
Yeah.
but I typically can't.
Right. Right.
Um, well, let's kind of talk a little bit about European American Army. You guys know that EAA is good friends of this podcast, good friends of ours personally and normal life and all that. Clover had said that I've been doing some videos. One of the videos I did a kind of a collection, I was missing one. I got out to the range, had all my stuff, had all my guns out there, and by the time I got out there, I realized I forgot the 14T. So I didn't have that in the video.
Oh, shame on you.
Yeah, I know. Because I got it out and 380 ammo. Like I specifically got it out because I had to get ammo for it out of my drawer. And for some reason, I guess I was just trying to get out of the house and get to the range and forgot it. Anyways, but put some guns out there. The kind of our handgun collection from EAA and Gerson and all that. But you guys know all about Gerson, and I'll tell you this. We talk about them all the time, and I'm sure the people that are here all the time are probably tired of hearing us talk about EAA. But what I
We get
will
paid to
tell you is,
do it,
if
so
well,
bugger off.
this is yeah, exactly. But it's easy to talk about a company that's trying to bring in firearms for prices that are better than almost anybody in the market, especially for the quality of builds and all of that. But one thing I do want to talk about with EAA is, we've mentioned this before a lot of times, but one thing that I love about them is, on the handgun side, obviously they bring in their Gerson line from Turkey. But what I love about EAA is they make sure that they have input on designs from concept to finished product. And a lot of times the concept is theirs. They say, hey, we want to do this. What do you guys think about it, and let's get designing this and all that. They actually come with the ideas. It's not like they Gerson says, we have these guns, here they are. It's like, no. Not only do they have input into the finished product, but a lot of times they are the ones that have the ideas about the concepts as well. And there aren't many that are out there that say, look, we want to be part of this whole solution. We want to be part of the entire process. And I love that about them. Hey, speaking of that, Chase is out there. Who's on first?
Yeah.
I don't know. Who's on third, I believe. What's on second? Yeah.
Yeah. The one thing that I think folks need to realize, and it's along the lines of what you're talking about there, and EAA definitely has always, with anything that they've imported, done a good job with this. But you've got even Gerson. Take even Gerson, right? So he has a company, and I'm not gonna drop any names, but Gerson does come up with some of their own concepts and ideas.
Yep.
And then if EAA doesn't want to import that, they will find another importer to import that, whatever it might be, right? And it's imported under that other importer and another name and all that kind of stuff, right? So they're pushing their shit, in other words, Gerson stuff, right? And most of what EAA imports starts with EAA. It's completely different. They're like, hey, we're gonna what is the word? Like boutique shop or something? Like, hey, we want Gerson to build us this, and
a double stacked 1911. How about that?
Right.
Or we want to do a high power. Here's what we want to do with it.
Yeah, it's a lot different because those designs, those things, I mean, they truly do belong to EAA. I mean, they started in the mind, and it's just all the way through the chain. So, and that's a big thing, because if you're just blindly importing things from companies, that's where you get a lot of these other companies that import stuff. That's where they get into trouble, man, and they get absolute junkerons of things, and any importation company or importer out there. I mean, everybody has has heard that at some time or another. But and sometimes that even bleeds over to EAA, which is unfair. I've heard I've heard some things about one of the Gerson models that's coming in through another importer, and the shit talking was over EAA, and I had to say, whoa, time out, hold on a
Yeah.
minute. Like, that's not one that EAA is bringing in. And,
Yeah,
they
just
never
because
brought that one
EAA
in.
brings in Gerson, they're not the
Yeah.
same company. Anything, not
Yeah.
everything that's Gerson is EAA. Yeah,
Right. Yeah. It's the whole hot tub jacuzzi thing
yeah,
there, argument or
exactly.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah,
So, but yeah, they do got a lot of, and if you know the particularness of Keith and especially Paul, that, my goodness, I mean, um, Gerson has to do it right. Otherwise, EAA is just
talking about some
they're not going to bring it
OCD
in.
over there. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of which, Chase is out there, and Chase says Clover needs to change his avatar to the new purple rain glasses. And I'm going to say is, if you're going to do that, then you need to put a raspberry beret on as well.
I don't have a raspberry beret.
Maybe
but
drive, and sitting in a little red Corvette,
a little red
wearing,
Corvette. Sure.
With something about 1999 on it, with white doves flying from it.
With white doves in the background, and yeah, I hear you. Okay.
And if you're going to go, then let's go.
Might as well. Yeah.
For those that don't know what we're talking about, Clover for the last several years has worn the everyday yellow lens to help. And if it helps with your mental side of things, it's great. But in the last couple of weeks, if you've noticed on his podcast, he's starting to wear what I say is purple. It might be blue, but I can't tell.
Yeah, they're blue. They're blue.
But that's what he's talking about. You're wearing different colored lenses now. Now, G-Web says you can find those berets at a secondhand store. I bet you G-Web probably has a raspberry beret.
Probably, and every other color under the rainbow.
Every other color if you need it, yeah.
God. It's terrible.
This is not shit on Clover night. It's just having fun.
It can be. I don't care. It would have to be the third topic. Speaking of that third topic,
whoever wins the third topic, that needs to be it tonight. Let's just shit on Clover.
It could be, yeah. So if you're interested in possibly providing us with that third topic, two things. And number one, you want to stick around, and number two, you want to go ahead and be thinking about what that topic might be, because once we pick somebody out there in the live chat for our third topic here in a little bit, we need that. We need an answer pretty quick. We don't want to hold up the show too terribly long. So, yeah.
Have that ready. Your topic up next, man.
Dude, it's going to be like a no gun talk night, apparently, depending on the third topic.
Well, the third topic, we still got that, but what you got?
I want to talk about clothes, man.
Clothes, okay.
I want to talk about clothes because, why do we... So, I know clothing styles change, right?
Sure.
So, you think about, suit and ties, and, you think about bell bottoms, and you think about parachute pants, and you think about,
leisure suits. Right? Absolutely.
Yeah, right. You think about all these things, right? And those are era based.
Members only jackets.
Right?
Yes.
Like that's era based. And I'm not talking about like era based, changing your clothes according to the style or the era. Yeah. That's not really what I'm talking about. But as we go through life, it's like we wear certain things and then we change it up and we come back around to certain things. And while you're kind of thinking about this, I'll kind of go down to my thing on a few things is, I was always like jeans and boots, and I hate jeans and boots now.
Yeah.
And, I most recently, everybody out there probably knows this, but I was really into my t-shirt and like vintage tee, cartoon and things like that. And I'm really getting into like the button down, the really light fabrics, just for me, I guess maybe it's getting older. And that's kind of what I'm getting at is as we get older, do we start caring less about our fashion and more about our comfort?
I think in general, absolutely. And I've always kind of been a comfort guy when it comes to clothing. But yeah, absolutely. I think that comfort is probably the biggest drive in what we choose to wear. I remember when we first met for the first couple of years. I mean, all you did was wear jeans. And it doesn't matter if it was 99 degrees outside or if it was, minus 20. And I've never been a jeans guy, right? I mean, in high school, I wore some jeans, but they were like more baggy jeans. Once again, comfort, right?
Yeah.
I've been starting to wear some jeans lately, but they're different kind of jeans. And if you've been around me at shows, you know what I'm talking. They're not denim, necessarily. They look like jeans, but they're like stretchy materials and stuff like that. So yeah, I think
the show stuff too is can be more of an outfit too than it is.
It is. I don't wear that stuff at home.
Because like my shoes at which counts as clothes, but
yeah.
My shoes at shows I do not wear around here.
Yeah.
They for the most part they're not comfortable.
Right. Yeah.
It's part of the outfit. I mean, they're worn for everybody else rather than myself.
Yeah. I think comfort plays the biggest role. The style of the day, I kind of don't go with the styles of the day. I never really have, you know what I'm saying? I always kind of like to dress differently and have some fun. Like at work, I'll wear, seersucker pants or linen pants, and I'll wear, what people would call different kinds of shoes at work. I like to wear wingtips and different stuff like that. I like to wear pastels and colors and all that. But I think also a lot of it comes down to, for me, when I was, a year ago, whenever I was probably at my highest weight, I wore baggier stuff. One, comfort, but two, that's what it, when you're a little bit heavier, especially for me, that's what I wore. Now that I've lost quite a significant amount of weight, I find myself being more comfortable in more tighter fitting things. And I don't mean, what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if that's because of the weight or what, but I think comfort, it's comfort, obviously, but I don't know. I think there's always different reasons why we dress differently. But I would have to say that comfort's probably got to be at the top of the list, right? If you're not comfortable, then what the hell, I do know that, like, for me, I could never have a job that has to wear a suit every day. I couldn't do it because the suits aren't comfortable to me at all. So yeah, I mean,
I've had,
I don't know. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, having to do a suit, I mean, with the jacket or even something where you had to have like a sport coat,
No.
or even long sleeves to an extent, would be just absolutely killer.
Now, Scott's got a great point. As you get older, you go for easy on and off stuff. Now, that is true.
Oh, yeah. I just recently got my first pair of Skechers step-ins, so I hear you.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've gone to the ratchet belt the last couple of years, and it sounds simple, but the ratchet belts are so much easier than normal belts.
Agreed.
Easy on, easy off,
Yep. First one of those too here a couple months back. So yeah. Yep.
For $1 million, I'd wear. I mean, I've worn suits. I have suits. I have to wear them for weddings or funerals. And let's be honest, most weddings and funerals these days are much more casual than it was 20 years ago or 10 years ago. And I wear suits. I don't think that I could ever be in a job where I had to wear a suit every day, like my dad. It would drive me nuts,
Yeah. Yeah, I think the heat aspect of it alone is what would get me. And I mean, let alone if you had to wear some kind of a three-piece with like the vest with the whatever you call it thing.
Yep.
Man, that would be just absolutely freaking brutal.
G-Web's out there says, comfort second. I might need to be able to do the splits or a wicked roundhouse kick at any time, so I wear stretchy pants. Now, if you don't know G-Webs and never met him in person, then this joke isn't going to go as funny as if you have. Mental picture here, quick, Clover. G-Webs and yoga pants. That might be the funniest thing I've ever thought of in my life.
Yeah, no, thank you.
How would we get G to get in some yoga pants this year?
With G, you just got to pay him some money. It's that simple.
Yeah, I don't think it had to be a significant amount of money. I don't think he'd get into yoga pants. Man, that'd be amazing, though.
I bet if he did, he could sell a whole bunch of them off Amazon. Just saying.
Or the yoga pant company might pay him to say, "Don't ever wear our stuff again." You know. Either way, he'll make money.
That's what we do. We just get in touch with a yoga pant company. If we can find a yoga pants company that's willing to send G-Web some yoga pants and then give him like a 10% commission or something, then that's all he would wear. We would never see him at a show in anything but yoga pants.
Yoga pants and I'm trying to think of what would go good with yoga pants. Yoga pants and I don't know what kind of top to wear with yoga pants for him.
I say he just wears his normal shirts. That's what
his normal shirts. Yeah, his normal shirts would be fine with it. Yeah,
like the Nam era, God's camo, BDU shirts.
I mean, I would. Yeah, God's camo and some woodland yoga pants. Oh. Now you got me thinking about it.
That would be awesome. Yeah. Yeah.
He said an oversized t-shirt tied at the knot at the navel, right? Absolutely. Yes. Now we're talking.
Beautiful.
We're talking about things that will never happen ever.
Yeah. And they cut slits in the rest of it,
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah. Why not? Got to get air in there,
Let me ask you a question. I know we're almost out of time for your segment, but I this is kind of be a funny thing, right? Looking back over your life, and you talked about earlier, we all go through phases, whether it's the current trends or whatever. Looking back at your life, what's been like the cringiest era as far as clothes that you wore that you can look back and say, God, I can't believe I wore that stuff for 3 months or a year or whatever. Like, what's that cringiest style that you were into?
There's a reason that I caveated what I did by saying, especially if you're talking about cringe, there's a reason that I caveated by saying there were certain eras, and that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the certain eras of dress, because I was always like that. I didn't care about that. And a lot of why I didn't care about that is, especially growing up, which is where you kind of get accustomed to that. Every year, every few years, there's a new trend or whatever, and all the other kids are doing it. And my shit, for the most part, all come from Goodwill, so it was not new stuff. It was like last year's or the year before stuff.
Yeah.
So I never really got conditioned for that or whatever.
Yeah.
And now that said, I will say, one thing that was like super duper dangerous was the parachute pants.
Oh yeah.
You back up to a propane Dearborn heater with some parachute pants on,
you're catching on fire.
You get too close, and by God, you're gonna know it. Don't ask me how I know that, but I know that. And it's not cool. So those were flat out dangerous, as a matter of fact. And then, boy, can you imagine the chick though with the parachute pants and then all the hairspray and the hair backing up to it?
Mm-hmm.
Good Lord, you talk about the Human Torch. Good gravy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That would be a very bad evening to go.
For sure, yeah. But, for her.
Yeah, for her. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that, and actually, you know what? Defense Dad kind of brought it up. The 80s, that mid to late 80s, where you were wearing multiple layered shirts and the feathered hair, and you're just like
almost like the Back to the Future.
Yes,
look is kind of what I called it, because you had that was hard to get dressed, but you had you had your undershirt, then you had your t-shirt, then you had your overshirt, then you had your suspenders, then you had your blue jean jacket. And then sometimes even you had like a scarf.
And I'm growing up in Dallas where it's 140 fucking degrees, and I've got 11 layers on, Yeah. Yeah, that was bad. Now the '80s did bring some great stuff like Jams and Ocean Pacific and
Yeah.
Members Only, and they had some great stuff. But yeah, the whole layered, and they're even got to a point where like when I say a golf shirt, like a polo shirt, right? Like sometimes people would wear two of them at the same time, just so a color contrast. I'm like, why are you wearing like two golf shirts together? Like, and the popped collars and yeah, there's some cringy stuff going on in the '80s for sure, for sure.
Now the '90s came around. I guess it was the '90s with the Rocky pants, Rocky jeans. Oh, ho, 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 ho.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Not for me, not for me. I'm not talking about me, but that was a good time. That was a good era.
yeah,
That era needs to come back. And I say
yeah.
that nowadays, chicks be carrying their phones in their back pocket, which would defeat the purpose of the Rocky jeans. But
True, true. '80s. I mean, they had what were those? God, what were those jeans the girls wore that were so like skin tight back in the day? Oh man,
how long ago?
like early mid '80s. Oh, those jeans. What were they called? I'm gonna have to go look it up. Early '80s Jordache. Before I looked it up, remember the
Yep.
Jordache jeans? Like
Yep.
talking about basically
Yep.
spandex with pockets cut in them. You know. Now, don't mind that if girls are wearing them. You know. But yeah, yeah. Yeah, there was some cringy stuff that we grew up in, and I'm sure I look at today and there's some cringy stuff that I see. And like, why would y'all do that? You know. But yeah, back
Yep.
then when we were younger, we were all about the fashion and didn't care about obviously comfort. Yes, you're right. Today it's all about comfort.
Yeah, but like I said, for me, it was more what like looked good to me. I didn't
Yeah.
much. It wasn't so much the trend.
No, I'm not talking about like the trend, but the style. Like you, whether it was
Oh
a
yeah, it
trendy
would be.
style or
Yeah,
not, you had a style that you were going for. You know,
yeah. Like I had a leather jacket I would wear in the dead of summer.
of course.
I had dusters that I would wear in the.
You had a dust. I could see you in a duster. Oh my god, like
Yeah,
a full length duster.
at full length, baby. Oh hell yeah, yeah, absolutely. Uh huh.
Nice.
Yep. So you can't go to Leonard Skinner concert or Hank Jr. or anything like that. Not have a
Now, when
duster
you wore
on.
your duster, were you wearing a cowboy hat or were you
Oh yeah,
wearing like
100%.
okay?
Yeah,
Oh,
I haven't wore a cowboy hat in forever, but that was also a change that was made. I wore cowboy hats for the longest I could remember. Never really wore cowboy boots. I never was a big cowboy boot. I was more of like a Red Wing guy.
yeah,
But um
yeah. I was
um
more of a Vans and
you
Doc
know,
Martin guy.
I kind of gave away the cowboy hat for like the ball caps.
Yeah,
Um
you should get a CloverTac cowboy hat sometime.
oh yeah, yeah, that could be interesting. I've got a CloverTac hat in there. I think
Yeah,
Snob got that for me or something
there
one
you
year.
go. There you go.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway,
I just I need to see a picture of you with a duster on and the cowboy hat. There needs to be pictures of that.
I'll have to go
Just
through
saying.
old photos at my mom's house or something. I'm sure there probably is somewhere. Surely.
Right.
Um,
All right, let's
yeah.
tell people what's going on and all that. We're coming up to the third topic, which is you guys. So Clover's going to tell you on how you can be eligible to give us the third topic tonight, and
It's really simple. It's
it
really
is.
simple. If you want a shot at giving us the third topic of the evening, then 1-6 in the chat. A number 1 followed by a number 6, no space in between. That's 16. That is the number, not the word. 16 in the chat. Throw that out there, and we will spin the glorious wheel here in a minute, and one of you will have an opportunity to give us the last topic. Go ahead and be thinking about that topic because we're not going to give you too terribly long to throw that out there in the chat once we draw. So, and while we're kind of waiting on people to throw 16s in the chat, Chase says 16 is his birthday. Oh Lord, that's not good. We're going to talk a little bit about Monstrum because, Monstrum Tactical is who powers the third topic of the evening.
Whoop, whoop.
Out there. So, Yeah, I actually got. Was that yesterday? I got in a mount from Monstrum yesterday, actually.
Hmm. Which one?
Um, I got in I don't even know that it has a name, but I got in a. I don't want to give away the project, but
Right. Yeah.
I've got a Vortex Venom
Okay.
that
Okay.
was going on something. Let's just put it that way. And I could not find the Picatinny mount for my Vortex Venom, which is Vortex
Really?
Venom, for those that don't know, is the Dr. Noblex footprint. Old school, very old school footprint. Uh, nowadays, heck, other than are there even any companies that still use it? I don't even know if they do or
Oh,
not.
I doubt it.
But
I
anyway,
doubt it.
back in the day, it was about the only red dots you had was Sightmark, Burris, and Vortex, and so they all
Hmm.
used that Doctor Noblex, and so I've got plenty of pick mounts from more modern footprints, RMR, RMSC, that sort of stuff, but
Yeah.
could not find my original for that. And so I'm like,
Interesting.
well, you know what? I know a company that I can guarantee fucking to you has one.
Yeah.
And hit up Monstrum, of course, and there it was, and got that dude ordered, and it came in yesterday. So got it put on, everything fit well, mounted right up. Great quality aluminum. The way that the screws and all on it, tightened up and all of that. I did not want anything like you would see on a rifle with the big thumb screws.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it wasn't. It was all flush fit screws and everything on it. Great, great mount.
Yeah.
And we talk about Monstrum Tactical, and we talk about the optics, and we talk about
Sure.
especially the LPVOs. I'm sure
Oh,
people will
yeah.
chime in out there in the live chat on those. But um, I'm telling you, if you need a mount, Monstrum Tactical mounts,
I
rings, that sort of things, they've
they're
got them.
they're amazing, and I'm running Monstrum rings with the loophole scope on a rifle. The rings that they had and the way that they were set up, I actually like better than the loophole rings. So yeah, and I think talking about optics, there is one optic that I haven't worked with, but I've just gotten some feedback. A buddy of mine was looking for um, an entry level scope, right, to reach out to 300-400 yards.
Hmm. Hmm.
Was asking me if Monster made one, and I said they do. I don't. I've never used it. They have a couple. They have the Hornet, and I think like the maybe the G3 or something. It's like a
Hmm.
anyway. It's they've got like first focal plane, maybe like 6 to 24, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and I know they used to have the Hornet. I don't know if the Hornet's still around or not, but they had like the G3. And I said they're around like $250 roughly, And I hadn't heard from him in a few weeks, and I got a text, and he was like, "Hey, buddy, picked up that Monstrum thing and loves it."
Okay.
So I haven't played with that scope of theirs, but the one person that I sent they got it and said they love it. So that's good to hear, especially for something that I can't speak personally on, but it is nice to hear that someone thought it was great.
Yeah. Yeah, the only thing is that I've seen with the Monstrum stuff. And I don't own any of the whatever you would call traditional scopes or anything, but I have
Sure. I
looked
don't
through
either.
quite a few.
Yeah.
And the only thing, and it's a trade off. You're talking about what, $300 or less for sure, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So you're not, first of all, is knowing what you're getting. You're not, and Monstrum
It's
knows their
not
place,
Night
right?
Force, guys.
Monstrum is not out there telling you it's as good as Night Force or their stuff
Right.
is equivalent to $1,000. They're not telling you that.
Right.
But the only minor issue is when you're looking at your magnification with Monstrum, I would say go more magnification than you think you need. And,
Yeah.
and the reason is what I've seen through with that is the last couple of levels of magnification. Um, the You can adjust the diopter in
Mhm.
the rear, but you just can't quite get the focus. Uh,
Yeah.
like a lot of your, again, three times, four times the price scopes.
Right.
Now
Absolutely.
for me, I don't give a shit. Like I'm fine with that. like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I can live with it for that kind of price difference. So that's not didn't hurt my
Absolutely.
feelings, right? But you do need to be aware that potentially could be a thing. But outside of that, for what you get for the money, yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely phenomenal. So
Yeah.
let's spin the wheel. What do you
Yeah.
think?
Spin the wheel. No whammies. No whammies. No whammies.
Got
Have your topics
one.
ready to go if your name is drawn.
There we go. Well, we'll see. So get ready. Hopefully, whoever is out there has got their topic ready, and we can continue to rock and
Faith. All
roll. We got
right.
faith in
Faith
the
right
house.
there. Because you
Gotta
gotta have
have
the
faith.
faith, faith.
Exactly. Jinx, jinx, baby.
Baby.
Great,
One of the
George
best
Michael.
voices ever.
Dude,
Different
how good
dude,
was?
but great voice, George
Yeah,
Michael.
how good was George
Great
Michael? Come
voice.
on,
Oh
man.
my
Come
God.
on.
Just a fantastic voice.
May or may not have had a few albums of George Michael. So, Faith, you got, I don't know, um,
Chase has thrown his topic out there, but Chase, you weren't picked. And I don't,
15 or
you
so
know,
seconds. Yeah, we're going to give it about another 15 or so for Faith. And then if Faith doesn't jump in with the topic, then we'll spin this dude again.
yeah.
Um, I think Faith topped up. I think it was last time was Screaming Skull Saloon, I think, if I remember, and he was late. It was
Yeah.
fun again, and it was Faith, which was is kind of weird.
It
And
is
then
kind of weird.
before
Yeah.
Faith got the topic in, Triple S got that one in. So we're gonna spin again. It's been there we go.
Uh, huh?
Yeah, I don't know, and
I don't
we
know what
don't
that means.
pigeons. What 16
I,
L equals
16.
16. I don't know what that
I
means, and
have
we don't like. I don't know if
no
they're being
idea.
a smart ass or what. Like, what do we? Come on, like work with us here, dude. Chick, whatever.
I don't. I just list Mount Pigeon.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Holy cow.
What does it
I'm not
mean?
the smartest man in the world, but I am lost.
I just list Mount Pigeon. What is Mount Pigeon?
I don't know.
You have to
I'm
give us a
Google
topic
for
that we at least we know
Mount
what the hell you're talking about.
Pigeon.
Mount Pigeon, Mister Pigeon. Mount. I don't know what
Nope.
Mount.
I put, yeah, I don't know.
Mountain pigeons. Okay, so I got Wikipedia up.
I got Wikipedia. I've got Montana
Four
wildlife
species of
preserve.
mountain
I've got
pigeon.
living with pigeons. Pigeons are not a native wildlife species and are not protected in Montana. Uh,
Well, we probably should tell Rogue Banshee that
she
then.
said
Let him know.
pigeons, or he said pigeons numerology. What the pigeons numerology?
It's asking to assume a gender. I said dude, and I call chicks dude all the time, so it is.
Pigeons have shown they can learn to represent numbers and have a basic understanding of counting.
Okay, here we go. Numerology. Let's see. What's this say? The numerology of 16, its meaning and significance. A specific number, 16, a variant, a number of 7, is the most transcendent, wise, and profound aspect of the number 7. It is the variant that easiest can melt into the void and enter deep states of Zen-like meditation. The number 16 is a karmic number. This means that there could potentially be terrifying life lessons following the 16. The most important experience is the lesson of transcendence, meaning that you need to learn at a deep level that everything in this life is transient and that everything will die, perish, get consumed by existence, and return to nothingness. This aspect can lead to extreme inner anxiety, you think, making the number 16 difficult to master. Faith went dark on us, I'm thinking out there. That's what I think. Holy moly. So
Okay.
16 is like the Borg equivalent of resistance is futile, I think, or something. I don't know. Right?
I have, bro. You lost me. I don't know. I have no
I don't
idea.
either. I don't either. But that's the risk we take, people, of
This is true.
letting somebody out there in the chat pick the topic. Holy moly.
Wow.
Vince Dad says, I haven't had enough beer for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you and me both. Like, holy moly. That's the weirdest. Okay, Faith wins the award for the weirdest fucking topic ever on the
Ever.
third topic of Ghost and Clover. Ever. Like, without a
He
doubt.
said he said Faith said you picked 16. Well, it's episode 16. We didn't, He
Oh,
said you should have gone with the
so
candy. That's true.
I know, right?
Yeah, we didn't pick the 16th. This is the 16th episode. So we just like randomly choose the number 16.
Maybe that's why, right? Maybe
It is
that's why.
believed that people born on the 16th of any month have a special purpose in life and are here to fulfill a
Oh,
specific
shit. Chase
mission.
said his birthday was the 16th.
That's what I'm saying. He is here for a specific reason, and that's to make all of our lives a little darker in general.
Well, and that again goes to the 16, the numerology.
This is
16
true.
hours this week.
It does actually in Chase's example, it 100% is a true statement. Wow.
That
Defense
is,
I was going to pick my favorite movie snacks for an at-home movie night. There you go.
we've done that before. I think we've done that before. Seems like we have. But yeah, so Chase is the keeper of all things 16 now, apparently. So
yeah.
Now what was Chase's that was different.
Chase's was going to say, being it's the first day of fall, even though us in the South wouldn't know, let's do spooky season. What's the best Halloween candy, and why is it a Reese's pumpkin? He needs a distraction from college football because Arkansas beat the hell out of Auburn this weekend. Not that I brought that up to him or anything.
Is that what it is? Sports ball.
Sports ball.
Kalen Cart got Rookie of the Year, I heard.
Oh, I mean, of course. I mean, why wouldn't she?
Well, there was so much drama around all that.
There was. Shohei made history this past week.
True.
First person ever to go join and to basically create the 50-50 club, which is pretty awesome. Yeah, sports world's pretty good, but October coming up. That's my month, man. That's the spooky month. That's the ghost month. So
spooky. It's spooky.
So yeah, we'll definitely have some Halloween themed stuff. I would imagine next month. You never know.
Yeah, we'll have 2 shows at least. We would think.
Yeah,
in October.
I know you've got something coming up this weekend. Do you not?
Oh yeah, I've got TriggerCon. Yeah, this weekend. Sure do. We'll leave out. I don't know, sometime Thursday. I don't know who else going. It doesn't look like many.
Have you talked to TJ?
Yeah. Why?
Okay, yeah.
Did he back out?
When did you last time you talked to him?
When he was booking his flight, like 2 or 3 days ago.
He called me yesterday, and you might want to talk to him.
Yeah, well, he hadn't called me, bastard. Okay.
Well, he said he was going to call you sometime today. So
well, he hadn't. So I'll get with him. So.
Yeah, he's having some issues.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's going to be one is loneliest number type thing, I guess. Like everybody's backing out, seems like, on the media side of things. But the less media that's there, the more there is for me. So I guess is the bright side of that. So I'll just get my stuff done a whole lot quicker. Be a lot less hanging out and a lot more work, unfortunately.
There you go.
Yeah. But yeah, other than that, that's all I got going on. Yeah.
Cases you and Paul can snuggle. Yeah.
Yeah, Paul's a buddy, though. He won't fucking go hang out though or nothing. So
you're right.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah. So, what about you? What you got this week?
What do I got this week? Got the podcast Tuesday night, Armed Citizen podcast. I'm busy this week at work. So I don't know. I'm going to the range tomorrow with the guy, and got the podcast Tuesday night. Don't know if I'm going to be able to get anything out on the channel because I don't know if I can film tomorrow. It'd be great. I don't know how long he's going to want to be there, and if he's willing to do it. If I can get some filming done tomorrow, at least maybe I'll just take some film of me doing something.
Right.
Do something like that. But I don't know. I'm just busy at work. This week's actually pretty busy, so busier than most. So it'll be just probably all work and no play. It makes me a dull boy. So
yeah,
it is what it is.
I understand.
You got any podcasts this week?
I've got David Humane, author of Gun Curious, tomorrow.
There you go.
Yeah, and then that's it until after TriggerCon, and then I've got, I think the week following TriggerCon or something like that, I've got I think the last 3 episodes of this season, and then we'll be done. And
there you
go. Trying to get out of using StreamYard.
Right.
So,
yeah.
And moving on to some more software that doesn't cost an arm and a leg. Unfortunately, it was a good run while we had it. And then, just trying to get other videos and stuff done. We got to start working on Shot, obviously, because we've gotten registered for that now. So we've got tons. We've got 3 months of prep work to do for that.
Yeah. When you know that the fall, for many reasons, is my favorite time of year. One of them is things start slowing down at work and I can have more time, and the weather's fantastic. But it's also the holiday season, which I love. The holiday season, I love all of that. But it's also get ready for Shot season, and so yeah, looking forward to that. I got to find a place to stay. I'm waiting to see Southwest. This time last year, they had a pretty significant sale on flights, so I'm waiting to see if it happens again this year, and we'll find out. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing everybody at Shot that's going to go to Shot, whether you're media or if you're in the industry or whatever. If you haven't been to Shot, quit saying, well, next year, I'd love to go. Just freaking go. I forgot to tell you. Yeah, and you know this, but October 1st, be on the lookout. There will be a video dropping October 1st. That, speaking of SHOT Show, will give some lucky person out there the chance to go to SHOT Show with me. Not going to pay for your trip or anything, but I will get you in the door to SHOT and on range day. But October 1st, that video is going to drop. It's going to tell you what you have to do and how to enter the ability to go to SHOT Show with me. If you want to go to SHOT, you can't get in, well, we can probably help out. So be looking for that October 1st. We'll be dropping. That's all I got. Anything else you got before we get out of here?
I'm not crazy. My mother had me tested.
Well, according to the map, we've only gone 4 inches.